Can you take where it says regulated by the government and circle that 5 times?
So out here on our family farm, we have almonds, clementines, and then we also raise winter oat hay. And then this is also where I keep my livestock animals that I show at fair, goats, lambs, chickens, and I've had rabbits as well.
My story of being involved in FFA, like most students, happened by accident. My freshman year, I had an elective that was up in the air, so my counselor decided to put me in the small engines class.
So I've been teaching for 6 years, and within the 6 years, I taught 4 of them at Yuba City High School, and I've spent the last 2 here at Marysville High School. I love this job because I get to see a kid in the classroom who in a math class might not be the best behaved. I put him out here in the learning laboratories and he's a whole different kid.
Okay, warm-ups on the board is supposed to prepare you guys for your final.
I think the organization is like super important because it gets people involved from like all walks of life. And even if they don't pursue the FFA careers, you know, it's just a good experience to have under your belt because it gets you like involved with the community and those around you.
Spiral uke. Finish off that bucket as well.
California is really the breadbasket of the world. So we go everywhere and with everything. And it's really important for people to get involved and know about agriculture just to really know where your food comes from.
For me, like that impact of having a good teacher that makes sure that I am well taken care of and that I will succeed in my high school career and in my FFA career is just, it's so overwhelming for me because it's just so awesome.
What were some of those things that you wrote down about natural?
Look at there, 100-pounder, be by the pound tail.
Being able to be a part of the FFA, we're able to be those future farmers of America, but not everyone understands the importance of what farmers do for us. They sustain the world, let alone just us personally. So if we don't continue to advocate with our younger generations, it'll eventually become where there's not enough food to sustain the world.
So I was raised as more of a city girl, and so moving out to the country, it was really fun and exciting, and it was almost like an adventure in a sense because I really did not know anything about farming or even almonds when we first started.
When we put on our FFA jackets, it definitely feels like we have a sense of pride because we know this jacket represents something bigger than ourselves.
I'm definitely very optimistic about the future of agriculture. Yes, sometimes there's Debbie Downers, but there's also those students in the ag class that give you hope that the future is bright for those individuals who grasp onto the concept that their life is in their hands.
Production funding for American Grown, My Job Depends on Ag, provided by James G. Parker Insurance Associates, helping to protect and grow Valley agribusiness in California for over 40 years. By the Gar and Esther Titillion Charitable Foundation, a legacy of giving to support the people that make agriculture grow. Farms feed families, public television feeds minds. By Brent, Professional Agriculture, supporting the heroes that work hard to feed a hungry world every day. By Unwired Broadband, today's internet for rural Central California, keeping Valley agriculture connected since 2003. By Harris Farms, a tradition of working forward to protect the future of water, ranches, and farms in California and beyond. And by Valley Air Conditioning and Repair, family-owned for a half-century, dedicated to supporting Valley agriculture and the families that grow our nation's food.
I pretty much started 4-H when I was able to in 4th grade, and then I started kind of small, so I would have rabbits and chickens, and I kind of just stayed pretty involved in that until about 8th grade. And then when I reached that point when I was going to go into high school, I knew that I wanted to be involved in FFA. And so that's when I chose to go to Golden Valley High School because I knew that they had a strong agricultural program. And then when I started there, I kind of just started taking smaller ag classes and not knowing, what it was all about or what I was going to become within it. And then as I had those ag teachers who invested their time in me and told me that there was opportunities out there that I could be good at and I could be involved with, I took advantage of every single one.
So when we moved out here about 11 years ago, we built our house and my husband decided he wanted to become an almond farmer. And so he actually put in the first 35 acres of almonds about 11 years ago. And then several years later, he added another 15. And so right now he's harvesting about 50 acres of almonds, pretty much on his own. My husband has had such a huge role in forming our children as far as their agriculture experience and their involvement. And I'm just really grateful that he did, and he had that passion to plant the trees and to harvest and to work really hard to make this farm get up and going, because it is a lot of work.
So we moved out here to our family's farm when I was in first grade, and so for pretty much as long as I can remember, I've lived out here on a farm and been surrounded by agriculture, and then I've watched my dad and my grandpa work out here, and so it's kind of always just been a part of my life. And then they would always encourage me to, continue my love for animals and become a veterinarian and things like that, which I always knew was going to be a part of who I was going to be, and so I always had that background and foundation.
When we first moved out here, our girls attended the Grand Elementary school, and at that school it's a little bit more of a smaller school. There's a lot of farming families there. 4-H was an opportunity that they were given in 4th grade, and Shelby has always loved animals. I mean, she has such a heart for animals, and so she really wanted to join. And when we first started, it was, "Mom, I want to have a rabbit, I want to have some chickens," and it kind of scared me because, again, I was not raised with agriculture or really animals, and so it was a fun time that we brought some chickens into our farm, not our house, and into our family, the rabbits and the chickens. The Grand 4-H was very influential in her life, and we had some amazing leaders and people that were investing their time into showing her what that looked like to show rabbits, to raise them, to have poultry, and to be involved and use those skills, even in leadership parts that she could show, and she could answer interview questions with the judges and how to care for them, be responsible. And so it was those leaders that we met through Le Grand 4-H that were very influential in her life.
So this past October, I got to go to the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, where I was serving California FFA as a voting delegate. And on that trip, we were able to listen to President Donald Trump speak. And with that conference that he came to visit at, he was talking a lot about trade agreements and international importing and exporting. And I think that kind of opened my mind and kind of solidified that I was interested in what that process was like, and I wanted to study that this coming fall as well.
What were some of those things that you wrote down about natural? Natural. When you think of natural, what do you think of? I love this job because I get to see a kid in the classroom who in a math class might not be the best behaved. I put him out here in the learning laboratories and he's a whole different kid and he gets excited. And then I give him a project like an agri-science project and he comes to me and he's like, "Oh my goodness, Miss Coughlin, I found out that if I use this, this happens." And then they get inspired to do wonderful things and change lives. That's one of the coolest parts about the agriculture education, is because our impact on kids. When we see them in the class, it's one thing. We take them out here, we take them on trips, we travel 3,000 miles with them. You gain a whole nother level of respect with that student and a whole nother level of rapport to where you can get them to do things that most teachers can't.
Miss Coughlin is an ag teacher here at Marysville FFA. She joined about 2 years ago, and before her, we only had 2 ag teachers. Our ag program was pretty normal. There wasn't too many exciting things going on, but once Miss Coughlin joined, the first year, it flipped us upside down. In a good way, though.
I believe that younger generations need to become more involved in the agriculture industry, as most of our farmers right now are up in their older generations, their 60s, 70s. So as they start retiring and if they start passing away, us younger generations need to come into play and make that future of the generations for agriculture in general.
So VTech is Visalia Technical Early College. It is a all-ag school and it's also an early college. So students who would like to fast track may take classes so then they are able to potentially get an associate's degree before they graduate high school even. We have animal science, plant science, and then we have shops. So we have a whole wonderful industrial shop with all kinds of welding materials and different metal cutting. I'm not a shop kid. I'm an animal science kid, so I'm probably not calling any of this right. But in animal science, we have all kinds of vet classes offered. We have all kinds of livestock in the barn. We're gonna have a fishculated cow, so students are gonna be able to see what the insides of a cow looks like potentially. Whoa. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, with ag, I'm hoping to go into the military and be a veterinary technician in the Army, and then after, I hope to have my own ranch in Texas, my boar goat production type thing. It's where you can sell market goats and basically just make a business out of it.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Well, that's pretty cool that you're that age and you're thinking like that.
I've been thinking like that since 7th grade, sir.
Stem counts. So you get one stem of a mums, either yellow or red. Please only grab one stem, not both, either or. You get yellow or red.
I actually got involved in ag ed when I was in high school. I started my freshman year in FFA, went through all 4 years, did my year out, got my American degree through the National FFA, and then I became an ag teacher, and I've been teaching for 3 years, and it's an organization that is near and dear to my heart, and I am so excited to be able to be in this position to where I can influence the lives of young people.
I grew up in Merced, in the middle of the city, so I didn't have much agricultural experience as I was growing up, and I didn't even know about FFA until I was in high school and through my friends and everything. And I knew that agriculture was a very big thing in California and in the Central Valley, but it never fazed me very much until I learned about it through FFA and through everyone in the organization.
FFA has definitely, I feel, changed in the last 10 years. When I was in high school, it's more media-based now. There's more outreach within FFA, whereas when I was in high school, it was more your chapter's kind of just your chapter. There was no real social media. There was Facebook, but Instagram was just taking off. Twitter kind of was backing down at that point in time, and so they definitely have more of a media presence, and ag ed is definitely taken off from that. Definitely CATA, which is the California Agriculture Teachers Association, has grown tremendously. We have over 1,000 teachers in the state, and back when I was in high school, there was chapters that we have now that were definitely not in existence.
I feel that FFA is important because it opens so many doors for so many kids that realistically wouldn't have the opportunity to do the things they do unless FFA was there to give them that opportunity. I would never have found out that I'm handy with a wrench if FFA didn't exist.
Since I've been involved, I've been in floral for 2 years, and I've been in ag leadership for 2 years, which have taught me a lot, and they've helped me develop what I want to be in the future and where I want to go to college and all of this. And it's just helped me develop different skills that I need, such as time management through ag leadership and floral, and just public speaking abilities through leadership.
So being in the classroom with students who don't come from a farm or come from an agricultural-based family, it's definitely worrisome to see that disconnect. Kids don't understand that food is created in the ground and then shipped to the grocery store. They don't understand that it takes all these different avenues within agriculture to create those dishes. All those different agriculture avenues, they don't understand that it comes from a source. They think that, oh, I'm at a grocery store, so I'm gonna pick up my food and that's where it comes from. They don't understand the background knowledge of it. And that's what we try to do in the ag department, is we try to make them understand that their food doesn't come from a store. It comes from the ground and then into processing hands and then to the store where they buy it.
So in the fall, I'll be attending Oklahoma State University majoring in international ag business with a minor in Spanish. And so that different aspect of agriculture, the international business side, has always been something that interested me. And so I'm pretty excited to go out there and learn more about what that has to offer as far as my career.
So Shane and I are super proud of Shelby and just how far she's come and the opportunity that she's been given. I mean, the Golden Valley played such an instrumental role in her life, and her ag advisors, and specifically Cody Jacobson, has just helped her blossom into this amazing young woman who can speak and can compete and can just thrive anywhere she is, but especially in that FFA community.
Yes, I'm definitely going to miss home. Oklahoma is nothing like the Central Valley of California at all, but it's something that's good, and I'm going to be able to learn and grow. And I just know in my heart that that's where I'm supposed to be, and having that major and that minor out there is going to take me places that I might not be able to reach if I was going to stay around here. So to help out on my family farm, there's a lot of things that I can do, and they all vary just depending on the day or the time of year. I can mow the orchards, I can spray the orchards, and then I can just help out around the farm as a whole.
And do you?
Yes, I do. It's a good way to just have that real world experience and that work experience as well that a lot of kids might not be fortunate enough to have.
Politics and agriculture, that could be a class within itself here at the high school level because of the way it's changing, ever changing. We're constantly getting new bills, we're constantly getting new policies, we're constantly handling things because we have a growing population. By 2050, we're gonna have 10 billion people on this planet. And so us as agriculturists have to figure out how to feed those people. And of course, our government has to figure out how they're gonna regulate so that way we can conserve and have production agriculture for the rest of our time here on Earth. We talk about the Farm Bill. We talk about how that applies here in California and how it works in the United States and what that Farm Bill goes for. We also talk about common issues right here in Yuba County. And then we go from there and we can talk about our state issues. So we're constantly bringing those things up. With that, we can have a class that's completely based off of agriculture politics, but it just kind of dabbles into our curriculum so students are aware of the policies. So that way, if they want to be production agriculturists, they kind of understand some of the rules and regulations. And so when we talk about organic agriculture, we talk about the current regulations, but probably when they become organic agriculture, they're gonna have to update themselves. But as long as they know the resources and where to go and understand like EPA, their purpose, USDA, their purpose, it makes them better educated to be production agriculturists and to be consumers, because it's pretty wonderful to have your students walk into a grocery store and understand this product that says it's USDA organic means it actually is because of all the policies and everything that it went through to become organic.
6 over here, now 7, and now 7, you gotta be 7, now 7, now 7, now 8, $8 a pound, Casey, now 9, now 9, 9.
So my brother, he decided to show before I did, and like his first year, I just fell in love with it. I love the animals, and I love just like having them and seeing them like grow, and just showing them is so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Every night we'll practice showmanship, which is setting them up, so bracing him, walking him, and at the end we do sprints with them so he gets his muscle built up. Oh, I love it so much. I love working with animals and just they're goofy, and I love it when they're tame and they just love you so much because it's really rewarding. So many kids don't get that opportunity to show animals or do anything that involves animals, and I'm just really privileged to be able to.
Ms. Coughlin, she's the best teacher I've ever had, honestly. She has always been there for me on a personal level and as a student and teacher. She always pushes me to do my best, even though I don't want to do my best, because it is hard as a student, especially in FFA, because we are expected to be more professional and do more things than the average student would. Ms. Coughlin's always there, though, for me and for other students. She's always greeting us with high fives and just having a great time with her career. And for me, like, that impact of having a good teacher that makes sure that I am well taken care of and that I will succeed in my high school career and in my FFA career is just, it's so overwhelming for me because it's just so awesome.
So I would truly enjoy if every person in the United States had to take an agriculture class. That way they were educated consumers. So when they went to the voting polls, they actually knew what they were voting on. So a lot of people believe that all natural means it's something special or it's somehow tied to organic. That's not the case. Now, all natural, there are some benefits, there are some things that producers can do, but most of anything, it is tied directly to conventional agriculture. And so it would be wonderful to teach those people. A lot of the time, you do a Google search or search it up like our kids say, and they search it up and they see these definitions from Wikipedia or all these different things that have been put on there by anti-agriculturists about how terrible production agriculture is and how terrible conventional agriculture is. And that just makes them play into the marketing scheme and allows them to really freak out and panic that what they're buying at the grocery store isn't healthy for their family. One of the benefits about people becoming more aware, kind of that foodie movement, is people care about their food. So when they go to their grocery store, they're looking at those labels. They understand, okay, this label means something. It might be a fake label, but it means something.
The kids are lucky enough to where when they are in an agriculture class, they are enrolled in FFA. Being in a classroom that has an ag title to it, they are then considered an FFA member.
The FFA represents leadership and career development, which means they take kids who may not know what they're going to do in life and help them, guide them, and mold them into the future leaders of tomorrow. This is why we wear these blue corduroy jackets with such pride.
Oh love, I'm excited for you now. It's what you always wanted. Anyhow.
I think to protect the future of agriculture in our valley, people my age can find whatever their passion is within agriculture, since there's so many different pathways. Find the thing that you love and find the thing that you're good at, and then learn everything that you can about it, and then educate the public. And when the public is getting educated about agriculture, their eyes can open as well as yours, and it's just a really good way to complete that circle and make sure that the future of agriculture stays protected and will continue to thrive, especially here in California.
I'm lucky to work with the most important commodity, and that's our students, our future. And so it's wonderful that I get to sit into a classroom and help shape the future of agriculture. I can tell you that I would love to see the future of agriculture with everybody understanding where their food comes from, the purpose and the practices it took to make that food. And I think we're starting to get there. We're starting to see people understand, and they want to learn more about agriculture. They want to do farm tours. They want to go and meet and shake the hand of the farmer. And I think one of the greatest things that we're doing is we're teaching those people. We're teaching them that it's okay to do that.
Conflict of what I want, what is right for you. They say true love is letting go. So this is what I give as your new life unfolds.
Ag education is definitely a basis for all students to strive better in their lives, to create an opportunity for themselves to go above and beyond what their wildest dreams are. It creates their passion, it gives them the sense of belonging, and it allows them to do something that they normally wouldn't do. When I started, I didn't think I'd be an ag teacher. I didn't think that I would be this passionate about something, and being able to go through an ag ed program to be an FFA, it's given me that avenue, and that's what we do for students, is we create a passion in them and we create a love for something.
I feel that the FFA is one of the best organizations in the world because it gives teens that grew up with no understanding of agriculture, of leadership, and gives them a platform where they can learn both at the same time.
Production funding for American Grown, My Job Depends on Ag, provided by James G. Parker Insurance Associates, helping to protect and grow Valley agribusiness in California for over 40 years. By the Gar and Esther Titillion Charitable Foundation, a legacy of giving to support the people that make agriculture grow. Farms feed families, public television feeds minds. By Brent, Professional Agriculture, supporting the heroes that work hard to feed a hungry world every day. By Unwired Broadband, today's internet for rural Central California, keeping Valley agriculture connected since 2003. By Harris Farms, a tradition of working forward to protect the future of water, ranches, and farms in California and beyond. And by Valley Air Conditioning and Repair, family-owned for a half-century, dedicated to supporting Valley agriculture and the families that grow our nation's food.